and that's no lie. The midnight train leaves a thick black smoke. The phantoms of hell chase the burning coal. Through a cattle field with dead willow trees, Civil War coins in the soul.
What's up, guys? So today is going to be a video about how to switch from natural baits into artificial baits, and the easiest artificial baits to be throwing. Now by artificial, I mean like plastics and wood and metals and stuff. I got notes here on my phone about because I get off track like every other kid with ADHD does. So fishing tips for largemouth bass and rigging tricks. So when going to a fishing hole for bass, cast to the hole that you're going to be fishing at. Don't wait till you walk up there to start casting. Cast to that hole before you walk up there, because there's usually going to be fish at that bank or underneath a dock that you're going to be up on. Because just cast as long as you can, walking up to that dock, and just fish that dock. But when you're walking up, it's going to give you, you're going to have more highly chance of catching a fish there. And also, the myth of bass do not bite twice. It's completely false. If you get a bite, keep fishing that spot a couple more times, keep on going with your day, come back to it, fish it again, because I've caught fish personally that have had worms in their mouth, or that have had a hook in their mouth that the fisherman left. So fish do bite twice. It's just stuff, I don't even know where they get that bull crap from. Now in ponds during the summertime, the fish will usually be underneath docks, underneath hanging tree limbs like that are over the water. They'll be by riffraff, around logs, mainly by the banks. They will be in reeds and thickets. So those are like tricks for summertime ponds. Just cast in front of the shade, like like if you were a bass, where would you want to hang out at? You would want to hang out in the shade. You would want to hang out in the shallows where you get a lot of food, where you get some good consumption of some food. And so my first note on here is about the Texas rig. That is, it's a artificial bait rig. It's called the Texas rig. And what it is, it's a hook that has a bullet weight on it. And so I'm in the bass boat today, but I'm going to be showing everything out of my bag, because I mean, y'all haven't really asked for a bass boat tour or whatnot, so as of right now, everything's just going to be shown out of my bag, and because y'all know everything that's in that bag from my previous video. And if you haven't, go watch my latest video. It's my fishing gear. This is my 7-foot Fish Eagle. And so, simply, what this is it's a bait. Right there, it's called a weedless hook. Here is you're running your line through that bullet weight right there, and you're tying it on the eye of that worm hook. And then you have your bait. You can use baby brush hogs, creature baits, Googan baits, whatever you would like to use. You take in your hook and you're sliding it. You see that little halfway mark? You just slide it up in there, so it's not coming out the back, but it's not falling out the front. It's just right there in the middle. This will be able to give you the versatility of pulling it through anything you really want, through grass, through reeds, through pretty much debris. But you want to watch out with your bullet weights, because they will get caught up in between rocks, and it's happened to me before at Lake Guntersville. They will get caught up in between rocks, and so that's really just what you throw on your Texas rigs. So now on that Texas rig, what's going to happen is whenever you throw it, and if you do get a bass, you'll feel 2 bumps in your rod. It'll be like a bump. Just wait, give it a second, let the bass get that whole bait in its mouth, and it's going to be like bump bump. Count like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, then you set the hook, just whack it back real hard, and you'll usually get it on your first couple tries, but it takes some getting used to, knowing whenever you should set the hook, because you'll gut a couple fish, like a lot of fish, before you actually get really good with it. The next very versatile bait that I'll be talking about is a worm, trick worms. Big deal. There's a certain type of hook, and it's a weedless hook, and if you have trouble finding them, I will try my hardest to remember to link. I don't know if I'll be able to link stuff up. I'll put a picture up. I'll put a picture up in the corner of the hooks and what they look like, but it's just hooked on worm. Just like that, you bounce that worm a couple times, you just let it fall, and then that's what you're doing that worm. That's what you're doing. Just letting it just frolic. Just let that worm do whatever it wants, and just bounce it. And usually bass, when they hit it, you'll know. It's not really like a bump like the Texas rig is. It's more of a more of like just a once and grab and pull sort of situation with the worms. That is, it's more of just the bass will come up and whole thing with the mouth. Those are for bottom bumping, because those preferably work very good for bass that are summertime, around docks and things. This is a spinnerbait, and the spinnerbaits work very well for when you see other bait fish that are running from bass. The bait fish, they run, the spinnerbaits have spinners on them, like their name suggests, and I have the bag there, and like I said, everything's out of that bag, but it's in the boat. So this is a double-bladed spinnerbait. It has two blades, that's why it's called a double-bladed spinnerbait, like duh. And what you do is there's a little eye right there that you loop your line through, and you tie your bait up, and you just, so the thing is with spinnerbaits is they sink whenever they're thrown. So right as they hit the water, they start sinking. So you just wait, and if that water's 10 foot deep and you want to be fishing halfway, you count 5 Mississippis, you start reeling in, just reel in slow, and then twitch your rod a little bit every once in a while. And the thing is with bass on spinnerbaits, just like for those worms, the bass just come up behind that whole thing going. You'll know whenever you got a bass on a spinnerbait as well. Now, the thing with spinnerbaits, you might miss a couple hook sets, but you'll get used to it. You'll know whenever to wait and let the bass get a whole meal in its mouth. Now, chatterbaits. It's sort of like a spinnerbait, does a completely different thing. Spinnerbaits have those big blades on them to get the fish's attention through its eyes. It sees it, thinks it's another shiner or another bait fish running, and it goes straight for it. Now, the next bait, it's called a chatterbait. It's called a chatterbait for a reason. Stick this thing on the back of it. It's called a trailer. Okay, you just hook that trailer through the top of the head, bringing out the butthole right there, and that just gives the fish something else to chase. And so what you do is they usually have this little thing right here on the big old fat metal part of your chatterbait. That's what makes it chatter in the water. You tie your line around this thing, not around the eye of the bait, around this thing right here, because this is what's going to let that bait move. So what you're doing essentially is when you tie it right here, you're letting that bait, see how that bill just flaps that whole bait? That's what's happening in the water. And so the thing is with chatterbaits is they're really good to fish over grass, and they're really good to fish in high grassy areas, because what they do is whenever you're pulling it through that grass, it's making those vibrations go through the water, and those vibrations are drawing the fish's attention to your bait. That bait is gonna get just boom, annihilated by the bass whenever they hit it. They come in different colors and different what's it called? Different weights. So you just look around on YouTube for different videos and you'll find how to know what type of weight and what type of bait that you want. And it's also very, very well to be organized with your bait and your tackle, unlike me. But it's really good to be organized. And another one is called jigs. So the thing with a jig is you have this, you have your jig, okay, and you can get, there's different types of jigs. Flipping jigs, really good. They have that really fat head, and they're really good for flipping under docks. And so what you'll do is you put that jig up under a dock, you let it hit the bottom. You bump it a couple times, you just let it sink. You bump it a couple times, you let it sink. And it imitates like a crawdad, crawfish sort of vibe, and the fish just come up behind it, you know, they'll hit it a little bit, sort of like the Texas rig, but then they'll just take it and run, and then you know you got one. And so that's pretty much it for the first artificial baits you should be fishing. If y'all got any more questions, or if I didn't explain something as good as I probably could have, just ask in the comments below. And really, David Dudley Outdoors, he's a pro fisherman. He does really good videos. All the Googan Squad videos do really good. All their members, they have really good videos on certain fishing techniques. And just watch a bunch of YouTube videos of fishermen, and then just adapt to your own style. Make your own style of fishing. Just do it the way you want to do it. Like me personally, I sidearm cast everywhere I go. I cannot overhand for the life of me. Sidearm cast, I'm really good at that type of stuff. Certain fishermen, they love to underhand cast or left-hand cast. It's, you make your own casting, make your own style of fishing the bait. You do everything your way, and eventually you'll get something that works for you. But it's really just finding the right type of knot you like to use, finding the right type of rigging you like to use. There's tutorials all over YouTube on how to tie certain knots and how to do certain types of rigging and how to fish different types of baits for different types of ponds. But really, those are all the things you need to know. The fundamentals are spinner baits, good for bait fish. If you see a bait running, if you see shad blowing up because there's something chasing them, throw your spinner bait. Grass, fish are slow, throw your chatterbait, draw that fish's attention up with the vibrations. Texas rigs, really good for bottom bumping, really good for tossing up by tree limbs and, underneath trim limbs and by logs and on the banks and stuff. Jigs, really good for tossing under the docks and tossing up into heavy cover. Really good, act like a crawdad. Sinkos is that type of worm that I'm talking about. Put that on a wacky rig. You can look that up anywhere as well. It's just hooked through the middle of your worm. Bump that a couple times, the fish will love it, and then you let it sink. Those are really good for fishing grass lines and for fishing over grasses, really. And then that's really all you gotta know. And you can just look up what type of baits you put on them, because on the Texas rigs, here it is. Texas rigs, baby brush hogs, the watermelon seeds, really well. Or Texas rigged, these are zoomed, by the way. I'll put the names of these in the description below as well. Texas rigged, what's it called? Zoom lizards, amazing. I'll put the names of those in the description box as well. And just, if you're gonna be fishing a baby brush hog or a lizard or something like that, you're gonna want a worm hook. If you're fishing a fatter creature bait like I have tied on right now and such, you're gonna want a wide gap hook. But really, with Texas rigging, bullet weight hook, all you need. Just look it up how to do it. It'll show you tutorials. There's videos of people and how to do it. I'm not very well at explaining things, but I can tell you how to get started on what to do. Just find YouTubers that fish and that show tutorials, watch their videos, learn how to fish, learn how to start your own technique in artificial bass fishing, learn how to do it your way. Watch a lot of the MLF videos, a lot of their all-day all day on the boat videos. They have like videos of just all day tournaments. Watch them all. Watch a lot of the Bassmasters videos. And just learn how other anglers fish and how they have technique, and copy their technique, but change it up your way. Do whatever you want with the artificial baits. Just tie them on, throw them, learn what not to do, learn what to do. Just have somebody there that knows what they're doing, and if they know, pretty much set. If they don't know, it's going to be a long day of trial and error. But the Texas rig, if it's weedless, it shouldn't mess up. Look up how to weedless a Texas rig bait. You should be able to get pretty much set on that. Really, Texas rigs is all you need really in ponds and stuff, because your bottom bump in, you'll get it pretty good. Well, yeah. All I got. Also, the rod and reels. The reels came in today for my True Rod and Reels that I ordered. The reels came in today, and the rods were shipped separately, so the rods should be coming in Friday. I will have a video on them. The reels are in my room right now. They're still in the box. I'm going to unbox them both and everything together. But the rods should be here Friday. If they're not here Friday, I'm going to be pretty ticked off. Also, the Ross Barnett videos. Please, somebody in the comments, just tell me if y'all want it or if y'all don't want it, because I've already got the approval to do it. I can take y'all along with me if I want to, but I mean, it's up to y'all. It's going to be probably 3 videos. It's going to be a 3-day thing. It'll be just fishing at Ross Barnett, be a boat, be tearing up some bass, probably. Just stuff like that, and we'll be taking y'all along if y'all want to come. But I mean, if y'all don't want to see it, then just tell me and I won't film nothing. I probably still will film. I just won't post anything, because if y'all don't want to see it, then y'all don't have to watch it. But yeah, give me some suggestions, like I asked last time, but nobody did, on what type of videos y'all want. If y'all want a boat tour, if y'all want something like that, if y'all want, like, I don't know, tackle room stuff, or how I got my gear laid out in the boat and things like that, if y'all want any of that type of stuff. So y'all just comment it, and please don't forget to subscribe. And yaha. Also, I don't know what I was going to say. So, see y'all next time.